Hey everybody, it's Amber from A&E Family Farm, and today it has been a rainy Friday. It has just now, the sun came out. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and today is the day that we are starting to build our barn. We were going to rent a lull to erect our posts to start our build because Eric and I could not physically carry them. So we had planned to rent a lull. We went to rent it, and he said that we probably didn't need to use that big of equipment, that you could just use the skid steer with the boom, which worked out fine for us because we had other projects we could use the skid steer for. So we just rented a skid steer with the boom. So now we're starting to work on that. So Eric put this sealant on the boards of our barn that are going to go in the hole to protect them. We just got it at Lowe's. It's rubberized asphalt coating adhesive. So he took a brush and rubbed that on there, and now him and his dad are setting the post in place. So they got the sealant put on the poles, the bottom of the poles, and now they're going to set them in the hole. Now that he got the post put in the hole, he braced it up with some 2x4, and now they are unhooking what they used to rig to put it in place, and we will move on to our next post. set in place in the ground. We are putting our concrete mix in the holes. We're putting 2 bags per hole. It just rained, and there's a lot of rain that caused water in the hole, so we're not having to add any water. After he pours the concrete in the hole, he's going to go back with whatever this thing right here is called. and make sure that the concrete goes down in there and mixes up good. Okay, now they got it in the hole. They're using, Eric said it's called a tamp bar.
Well, we've been working on this project behind us. We put about 8 hours in it so far in 2 days. The first day it rained up to about 2 o'clock, and then the skid steer showed up, and we actually set the post and everything that first day. You see that in the earlier part of the video, but we've been working. We barely can move. Thanks to my dad, he come down to help do a lot. Getting older, you can't do as much. I'm learning that myself. So the sun was beating on us pretty hard yesterday. Today we got a overcast, cloudy sky. The breeze is blowing. It's not as bad, so I put on my overalls. Maybe I won't get so burned up and hot. But let me show you what we've been doing. All right, we set the post, and this is our hall, what will be the hallway. I'm gonna today hopefully finish the rest of the joist in on this side, on the right hand side. So yeah, hopefully I can stand up on top of the floor joist, and I think the post in the back there is my lowest post. I won't know that until I get up there and do some leveling. I have to level all the way around to make sure that is the lowest post. So if that is the lowest post, that is going to be the starting point for our trusses, and I'll have to cut the rest of these posts off. Although I'd like to have as much room as possible for the loft, but we're not really trying to build a big horse barn, so especially with just 2 of us. But so far we've done pretty good for 8 hours. Here's our truss. It is heavy duty. Just for a 16-foot span, that dude right there weighs about 250 pounds. So it's going to be a challenge just to try to get it up there. We've got the boom pole over there that we'll try to set it with. Anyway, we got a couple more days to try to get this done. So stay tuned, and we'll try to show you a little bit today what we get done.
everybody. Let me show you where we are at this point. We've worked for a few hours this morning now. I think we're making pretty good progress. I'll show you what all we got done. Okay, we set the subfloor up there. I know it's going the wrong way, but for temporarily, we're going to temporarily screw it this way so we can make a walkway down the rafters. And then Eric is going to get up top up there. You can see our post up top, and cut them all off the same height before he can set our trusses. So just temporarily, we're going to screw that down, and then we will hopefully be able to set our trusses today. I hope the sun goes back in because it has been cloudy and it's been wonderful because yesterday was really, really hot. So stay tuned. It is about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We took a very long break after lunch. We worked a little bit after lunch. Probably about 2 o'clock we took a break. The sun was just beating down, and maybe after a few tears shed, I might have hit my head. So the first rafter went up, and it was kind of hard for Eric and I to do it by ourselves, but we got it up. After that, we took a long break. My parents came by, so we sat under the shade tree and enjoyed a visit with them. They left, we got back at it, and this is where we're at. So we have all 4 rafters up, and Eric has 2 boards on that side up. We didn't want to leave it overnight without securing some boards on top. We're supposed to get a bad storm tonight. I don't know, but it wouldn't be stable just leaving. He bolted them up there, but it wouldn't be stable just leaving them without something to kind of secure them. So he is loading up some more boards right now and on the skid steer so he can lift them up there and start on the other side. I'm kind of useless at this point because he climbs up there and does it all, but I did lower the skid steer boom for him when he was doing it. So that's why I shed some tears, because I hit my head climbing up into into the skid steer, and when I was climbing up into the skid steer, I hit the corner of my head and it hurt really, really bad. So after that, he showed me how to do it. So I lowered the boom so he could unhook the rig when we were lifting it up there on the boom. So this is where we are now. Let's see what we get done before dark. Okay guys, so it's been a couple of hours. Let me show you how much we have done now. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, in a couple of hours, Eric got all the rafters on and screwed down. We only had 2 on each side done last night. We were scared that the storm would come and it wouldn't be stable enough, so he at least got 2 up on each side last night. So 10 o'clock, we've got all the rafters up, and Eric said he designed it this way, so the hottest part of the day, he's gonna get up there and start putting the tent on. So follow along.
I'll show you what we've got done so far. We didn't get done. We didn't get completed. Tried 3 days in a row. I'm pooped. But let me turn this around and show you.
3.5 days.
Yeah. Let me turn this around and show you. All right, so I got most of the metal on. Just like a little bit on the ridge, and cutting the tails on to put my fascia board on, to put the trim on. But anyway, I think we did a pretty good job for me and her, and then Dad come down today and helped me start the metal. We worked to lunch, and then it was 89 degrees, sun beating down, and we just quit. He come back about 5, and we did finish up one side. Got started on the other side. Got about halfway, and then I said I can't do no more. You know, everybody has a limit, and I'm at my limit. So we don't normally work like that. Or at least I don't. I've got one of them air conditioning jobs, but and that's the enemy of all enemies. But we tried to do the best we could. Just me and Amber, and of course Dad come down and help, and a little bit. He's old, and I'm old, but he's 20 years older, and we were talking about what we could do back when we was younger, but you know, when you think about getting old and you don't have help, you just have to work slow and then try to work smarter and not harder. It takes longer to do that sometimes. So we just work at a little pace, little spurts. I can't do like I used to do, but like old great late Toby Keith sung about, I pretty much can be confident saying that I'm good once than I ever have been, but it may just be once. But anyway, we will update you on the finish of it when we get around to it. Now next weekend we're going to be busy. We're going to be away. We're going to have to go help somebody else out on their farm. So I'm looking forward to that. And when we get back to this barn, I will put some more video up on it, make some more video about the barn, and you can see the finished product when it's done. But like I said, not bad for maybe 2.5 days, and not solid. We had to take a long lunch break and cool off and a nap. Followed that. So
You take a nap.
yeah. Well, anyway, guys,
Nap.
thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow. We try to do the best we can. We're not by far experts, but we're learning. But don't forget, follow us, A&E Family Farm, and I'm Eric.
And I'm Amber. Hi everybody, it's Amber from A&E Family Farm. We are out here today, the long-awaited day that we started on the rest of our barn. We got the rest of the materials in a couple of weeks ago now, and this has been the first weekend that we have got time to work on it. So we rented a skid steer. You can see Eric's out there right now, and he's getting the ground ready for the inside of the lean-to that we're going to be adding that will connect our pastures for our goats. And we are going to drill the holes for the post and hopefully get some post up in the ground today and start on it so we can have it dried in for the winter time. I hope that what we have in mind is to divide the lean-to in half and put a hallway kind of down the middle, and I will be able to work goats from that side of the farm and then that side of the farm, and they can both be separated but come into the barn with the hallway in the middle, and I'll be able to just walk down through the hallway and feed them off both sides. That will give us shelter for our girls, for our kidding process, and then we'll probably move the boys over to the old barn, and they will have the old barn in the winter time. But we right now we have all of our goats that are old enough are bred, so we have our bucks in there with them right now, just because we opened up extra pasture for them to graze and wanted them to have the opportunity to graze and browse that before we got to winter time where everything died, and having to feed them exclusively hay and feed. So come along with us today as we work on this. Also, I'll show you a little bit later, Maggie did have her puppies. As you know, she had 10 puppies, three girls and 7 boys, and we have those behind back there where Eric is working in the little well house. They're laying in there getting fat, and I'll show you them a little bit later. But I can't be more proud of Maggie. She's doing a great job taking care of them for her being a first-time mom. And once again, a shout out to Seven Stands Farms for letting us purchase Maggie from him. And if you haven't followed him yet, he has a channel on YouTube, Jamie Miles, Seven Stands Farm. Go follow him. So stay tuned. it's been a slow go today since it's just Eric and I working, and we finally got the holes done, got the post up. So he is now working on getting the first rafter up. So it's kind of hard with just two of us, but we'll get it done. Hey A&E family, it's day 2 of our barn build lean-to side. We worked until after dark last night. We struggled a little bit getting the skid steer to raise the rafters up high enough with the straps that we had. Eric couldn't find his one strap that he had. We looked for it yesterday, couldn't find it. He goes out there this morning in the barn, the old barn, and finds it. So hopefully we'll get these other 2 rafters put up, and then we can start with the roofing. It's just a little bit after daylight now, about 6:30 in the morning. It's about 40 degrees. We're starting early this morning because we do have to take the skid steer back this afternoon. So come along, we'll see what we can get done today. As you can see, we did all that we could do for right now because they gave us the wrong size boards for the top. They did not allow for the overhang, it's just been a mess this time around. Even though we had the quote all fixed out, they lost it and they didn't give us the right stuff. So we're gonna have to buy some more boards. We can still use these, so we'll keep them, but we're gonna have to go buy some boards to do the top for the overhang for the roof. So it might be this week sometime before we do that, because having the skid steer rented, we need to make the most use out of it as we can instead of running and getting boards and wasting time. We have some other things that we could do, and one thing that Eric's trying to get that strap down. We got to clean this up, because this will be like our little fenced in place coming off the barn for our goats. We'll have to connect the barn to these two pastures, which we have this holding pen right here, which Maggie and the puppies are in, and then we have this little holding pen on this side to work the goats on that side of the farm. So I guess we're gonna have to say goodbye to Mavis, that's been here, and her baby that's been on the ground ever since we bought this place. So while Eric has the skid steer and the forks, he's gonna pick that up, because that is solid concrete and there's no way we can move it. So he's gonna go get the forks and try to pick that up and move it so we can connect our little pastures to the barn. So yeah, bummed out. It's just, yesterday was terrible. We had one thing after another go wrong, it seemed like, and with just me and him working, all we got was the post stood up and the last two trusses on top. So this morning we finished anchoring the trusses and we got the boards up in the middle that run across. So we're gonna have to go get longer boards for the overhang for the roof to do the tin. And he is gonna move the tin. It's over there. It's kind of in the way while he's got the skid steer over here. That way we'll have it ready for when we do finish the top. So we'll have to work on that this week. The girls are over here. I fed them earlier. They got their belly full. Now it's nap time. They're laid up on the fence. Miss Marilyn. Hey, Miss Marilyn. So one thing we were going to work on is there is a buried electrical cable that runs down here to where the tiny home used to sit. It's buried underground down here. So we're going to pull it up out of the ground, because it's going to have to move anyway when we make this our driveway for when we build our house right down here. Right there is where our house will sit. So Eric is gonna try to find where the underground electrical cable is and pull it up, and we're gonna use it to run power out of the shop and into the new barn. But it's buried. We buried it actually when we moved here, and we remodeled the little tiny home to live in while the kids were still home, and it was buried right down through here, right up to the barn, and it runs into the house. Oh, he found it. So he's gonna try to pull that up. We don't have any goats over here at this time in this pasture. What? It's probably buried deeper than you can pull. I hear the ducks quacking. I didn't get them fed yesterday evening. They're down there quacking. We also have our water line buried right there. There is the on-off valve in that little box. And we get our water from down at the spring at the bottom of this hill. And those are the power lines that run down to the pump to pump the water back up the hill all the way to the house. So when we build our new house, we'll have to redo all of that. Working. That was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears getting that buried. We had a ditch witch and we dug the ditch, but then we had to go back and cover it all up. It took us forever to get it all covered up. And it kept settling and had to throw more dirt on it. There's the internet cable. So it also has an internet cable buried with it. That blue cable. Thanksgiving Day morning, and we are out here working on the barn still, and we got this whole side right back here with the tin put up. And it's temporary because we're gonna have another lean-to over there on that side, but for the winter, until we can get the other lean-to built, we're gonna put up some tin right there to block the wind. And once we get our lean-to, we're gonna open that back up and where we can walk through on both sides. But yeah, we've been out here working. I'm fixing to go finish what I'm bringing for Thanksgiving lunch at my mom's. And we just put up the last board so we can get it dried in for the goats. After Thanksgiving lunch, we came back home and worked on the barn until after dark. We worked the entire weekend of Thanksgiving
trying to get the barn enclosed before the cold weather set in. I did not get any video of the tin going up on top of the roof. After the tin was secured to the roof, Eric and I took heavy plastic sheeting and tarps and nailed them up around the sides to dry the barn in. Once the barn was dried in, Eric built what I call the observation deck with a gate. This allows me to have a place to store feed and supplies for the goats. Eric and I did this all in one weekend. We were exhausted but excited to have a more functional space for our... Hi everybody, it's Amber from A&E Family Farm. I'm going to take you along today while I go and do some chores and show you, I guess this is kind of like the first barn tour since we have it dried in and we're actually started utilizing it for the goats. We haven't totally completed it yet. We still have to put tin around it, and we put up some temporary tin on this one side that we'll be adding the lean-to to. We don't want tin in between the hallway of the lean-to side, so but just for this winter until we can get our tin in, we've put up some temporary tin to kind of keep the rain and wind off the goats. Okay, so we're gonna walk over here. They're already starting, the boys are already starting to holler. Okay, as you can see, we put some tin up on this hallway section. It's only going to be temporary. We're gonna add the lean-to out here, and Eric didn't want to cut off and put tin there. We're gonna, I think, do some wood somehow in there and make a doorway so we can walk through. So this is the middle section that we already had standing. Eventually we'll put the floor in the rest of the way and probably put some hay up there. We'll have a little winch that we can raise and lower the hay down so we don't have to climb up there and throw it down and then or carry it down. You can see we have tools here. We've been working really hard to get this finished, and this right here Eric worked on this weekend. He has worked so hard, guys. I have the best husband. He has done all he can do to try to please me and make it easier for me when I feed the goats, which I hear them now. They know I'm out here, so they know they're gonna get fed. But this is the power box. We're putting in, I don't think he has that plug connected yet, but he has ran light switches for inside there and power outlet for inside there. We repurposed an old door that we had right there. He put that in, kind of if the goats happen to get out over, they couldn't come out. And yeah, we just have our tools in here. Then I'm gonna walk you around the building. We still have to bury our power line. It's coming out of the shop over here where he hooked it up. So we'll dig a trench and put that in. What are you doing, honeybee? Huh? What are you doing? It's like the gate kind of closed a little bit and they can't get out. Let's see if we can get them out there, and I will lock them out, and then we can feed them and then let them back in. Come on. Come on. This is our little temporary door latch here. Don't you like the sophistication of it? Okay, come on, girls. Let's go out here. Come on, goat. Come on, goat. Come on, goat. I'm gonna have to get something to hold the gate back so they'll come out. Come on. Hey, honeybee. Honeybee. Shut them out without getting stampeded. Come on, Maggie. Come on, Maggie. Okay, coming in, I have put some water there for them so it's easy to bring the hose around until we can have our water in here. So we just divided it with a couple of panels. Eric cut the panel until we can build another hay feeder to let the little girls be able to eat on that side, and then the big girls to be able to eat on this side. And then we have their minerals and sea kelp on both sides for them. I've actually purchased the good spinner mineral and feeders, so we'll be able to feed minerals and sea kelp to them on the little spinner that's weather to keep the rain out, and then also where they don't fight over it. So this is Miss Sophie. Say hi, Sophie. Hi. She is a new doeling that we purchased at the North Carolina Kiko Classic. And then the two in the back. This is Eliza's Sunrise. We call her Spitfire because she's a little Spitfire. And then Miss Wanda back there. Miss Wanda. Hi, Wanda. Wanda with waddles. She's got her little waddles like Marilyn and Millie. She has really filled out. She's doing good. And it took them a little while to get adjusted to the other ones because they were wanting to fight. They still kind of fight Sophie a little bit, but it's getting better. So we have feeders on both sides here for them until we can get our better feeder. We're gonna do something different here. This is just temporary. Eric built me a little door right there. It's got a latch. We put just some extra protection because it won't open unless you push this back, and then it opens and then it locks like that. But we never underestimate a goat. So we got a little piece of wire right here that we put in there just to lock it. And then, hi Maggie. I'm going to show you our little babies. This is Maggie's babies. They are 3 weeks old now. They were 3 weeks old yesterday. We have a couple little heat lamps over there for them. We did have the little well house pump as a little dog house in there for them when they were newborn. And we had a trailer mat that you saw outside on the ground right before I came in underneath it. That way Maggie wouldn't dig a hole and possibly cover them up or bury them. She did give birth in our living room floor just because we wanted to watch her. She's our best dog, and we did not want to have anything happen to her while she was giving birth, and we wanted to keep a close eye on her. Look at this little fatty back there. And then we got one right back there that has a white eye and a black eye. It's so cute. There are 3 girls only and 7 boys. So she had 10 altogether. So they've gotten bigger, their eyes have opened, and they've started moving around. So we moved the dog house out, the little well house cover out, just so because, you know, they were pottying in there and it was a really bad ammonia smell and we had to keep cleaning it out. So with, I think the trailer mat that was underneath was kind of holding all that in there. So they're big enough now, and we move that out, put some fresh hay down, and it'll be able to go down and soak in the ground and stuff, and then we can add to it. But they're just cute as they can be. I'm so happy, and I'm so glad. Maggie, she's doing a great job. She is, she's been one of our best purchases. And thank you, Seven Stands Farm and Jamie Miles, for allowing us to purchase her last year at the North Carolina Kiko Classic. Fed the little girls and Maggie. Maggie is usually the first person I feed. I give her some dry food that's got extra protein, and then a can of extra protein with her vitamin. You can hear them. They're fighting with each other. Are you bullying? Huh? Are you being a bully? I can't wait to see how many of them have short hair and how many of them have long hair, which we will be retaining at least two, a male and a female. So I know there'll be some available. I have to wait and see. Our friend is going to purchase some and see how many that are available after that. So I feed Maggie first. Don't you just love my little walkway Eric made me? And I have my food in the barrel. I have my minerals and sea kelp in this barrel. I have my dog food in this tote, which Sugar likes to come in here and eat. Even though she gets the same food on the porch, she likes to come in here and eat while I feed. After I feed Maggie, I feed the little girls, so they're eating. I go ahead and put some food for our does. After I get it in here, I go out here and let them in. We've been lucky they haven't tried to eat the plastic yet. I know that's just temporary for right now, until we have to do something different. All right, are y'all ready to eat? Huh? Are you ready to eat? I know you are. So we will start having kids in February. So all of these moms are pregnant except for Millie right there. So they come in and start eating. So it's not, yeah, she's not too nice. So it's not such of a getting mugged trying to feed them and they all fighting each other wanting food. It just has worked out so much better that I can lock them out, put their food out, and then open it up and let them in. Y'all are just being extra wild today. Yes, you are. So Maggie has a little place where she can go out and the goats can't get in, and it's a little lip over it so the little puppies can't get out yet. But we know that will be changing soon. So I've really been trying to give Maggie some extra because having to feed 10 puppies, I know that it's taken a lot out of her. So there's Cece over there. She's 8. She's getting her some minerals and some sea kelp. As I've told y'all in the past, sea kelp is the best thing. I will feed it over anything. And it's on the expensive side, but it is well worth it. And you see a definite change in your goats when you give them sea kelp. I'm wondering if Honeybee's gonna have her some triplets in here. She's getting to be a wide load, Mama. She's getting to be a wide load. And River right there will be a first-time mom. So I'm anxious to see how her kids turn out. So, well, Cece, she's looking at her mama. What are you crying? You want some nanny, don't you? Say, lay down, Mama. Mama's got to eat so she can feed y'all. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over to the old barn and feed the boys. But you can see it's temporary in here just to keep the wind off the goats, and they have a dry place to come until we can get our 10 on the outside. And I have their water right there. Like I said, I will try to have water in here. Let me show you. You can't come in here, Ranger. Ranger's always in the middle of everything. Yes, River, I have to lock it so you don't get out. Because I wouldn't put anything past you. So, I was going to show you the water before I go. So, I have a light switch here that works a light there, a light there. I have a little dry erase board that we put up, which Eric's going to, he actually brought this one home. He found a bigger one that we could use, and we're going to hang that up so we can write important things down that we need to. Got a garbage can here, need to empty the garbage. We had repurposed these cabinets that we had that we weren't using. We're gonna install some more at another time, but I have some of my stuff that can be out in the cold. Our needles and syringes, gloves, ear tag stuff, foot trimming stuff in here. I know it's a lot just piled up in here, but eventually I'm going to have a bigger cabinet for all this. Eric just put me a board across here to put canned foods for Maggie, our vitamins, and this is the plug he put in, and we just got an extra little thing here, extension cord thing to plug different things in. Radio, the goats have to have their music. I don't know about y'all. That's just the light he put in here for extra light. It's just plugged in right there. But these lights up here are permanent. And it puts out a lot of light. I don't think we're going to need to actually hang extra ones over there. At nighttime, it's hard to tell now, but at nighttime it really lights it up in here. Y'all are still fighting. Mama's almost done eating. Let her eat. River likes to watch the dogs. What are y'all doing? Hanging out? Are you just hanging out? Okay. I'm going to fix Max and Sheba's dog food before I go. I have some corn over there for the boys, but I'm going to show you what I was talking about. Water. Right here, we have a well that has been dug. It was dug before we purchased this place. It was supposed to be able to supply the house, but it does not. It's a low yield well. I think it's like 2 gallons per minute it only pumps, but if we put a pump there, we could actually use it for goat water, which is, you know, I'm not going to need that much at a time. Now what are you doing hanging out there? Sugar got her belly full. Okay, so I'm going to fix Max and Sheba's dog food before we go to see the boys. So Maggie's ate. She usually goes and potties immediately after she eats. Before I even got the food finished fixing, Maggie has come back in to feed her puppies. And what I find so fascinating is she knows which puppies have eaten and which puppies have not. And she will actually, which she's cleaning one of them's booty right now while it nurses. But she will actually, I've seen her pick up a puppy and by her mouth and put it on her to nurse. I'm like, how in the world does she know that? There's 10 of them. Look how chubby they are. Those two right there, the one that just walked over and that one, it's almost like they have a line in the middle of their back with dark brown and light brown. Well, even those two kind of have a little bit of it too. There's only 4 white ones that have spots on them. But I think that one that's walking over to her now was actually the runt. And you can see how big, just 3 weeks old, she has done a great job feeding them. Okay, are y'all going to take a nap now? Honeybee says she is. Okay. Let's go feed the boys. So we basically got all of that work done in 2 weeks. On and off, if you put it all together, the days that we have worked on the barn, it's about 2 weeks. Eric and I worked on it by ourselves. He actually had a guy from work come one day, a young guy that he paid to help for a few hours to get the tin up on top. It was the long sheets, and I'm not able to lift that up to him. So he had him come for a few hours on a Saturday and finish that. Other than that, and his dad came and actually hooked into the breaker in the shop. Eric done all the rest. He is broke down and he needs a break. So I'm coming to the old barn to feed the boys. And this is where Max and Sheba is. Sheba's probably gonna stay over here. We're gonna move Max back over with the little girls, I think. We just put them over here together for a little while because Sheba was kind of mopey by herself. So that's why we hope to get our dogs built up so they'll each have a partner to help protect our goats. Are y'all ready to eat? There's Maverick. Are you smiling this morning? You look like you're smiling. There is Master P. Whiskey. Are you sad you're over here and don't have your girls? Huh? Are you sad you're over here and don't have your girls? So I'm going to feed Sheba and Max first. And of course, we have radio out here for them too. Like I said, they love they love listening to music. So I usually feed Max and Sheba first, and I brought their vitamins also for when I feed them. Are y'all hungry? Are y'all hungry this morning? Are you hungry? Come back, come back here. There's your pill. Sheba, baby. There's your pill. Can't come out. Eat. Go out. Out. Sheba does not like sugar. Go, sugar. Eat, Sheba. Uh-oh. We gotta clean that feeder out. I should have looked at it before. Y'all eat down there. I'll have to go in and clean their feeder. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do when you don't have a thing to clean. I had to scoop their poop out. Ew. Okay. You got. Oh. Go back and I'll give you some over here. Ah. Here comes Whiskey. So as you can see, it takes me a considerably less amount of time to feed everybody, having the new barn and kind of my new feeding system. The girls of 8, they had to come over here to see what I was doing when I was feeding the boys at the old barn. What are y'all doing? I thought you were taking a nap. Huh? I thought you were going to take a nap. So we do have some temporary little shelters over here for them that we built. So if they wanted to stay over here, they could. But since I started feeding them in the new barn and they kind of got used to it, they have started sleeping in the new barn. Same with the little girls. This is my baby right here. You see my mama. I love you. Miss Marilyn is my favorite. So she's always looking for me, always wanting some lovin's. So everybody's fed. I was just going to show you a quick video about what we have in place right now. We still have lots of work to do. As you know, with the farm, it's an ongoing process. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for following me along as I do my chores. Now I'm going to wash my hands. So if you haven't before, please follow our page, like, and subscribe to our channel. We are also on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We don't do a lot of posting on Instagram, and TikTok. It may be taken down, maybe gone. I don't know. I don't think that'll ever happen. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, I'm Amber from A&E Family Farm. Bye.